As we all know, in psychoanalysis especially, we know how knowledge does not necessarily involve truth, even if it is a true knowledge in the sense of adequate knowledge. For example, we all know, I hope they're so well known, Lacan's outrageous statement that even if, it's a little bit male chauvinist, but nonetheless, even if a jealous husband claims that his wife is cheating him, that she sleeps around with other men, even if they are all true, his jealousy is still pathological. So that, you know, the factual truth can be, or adequacy, can be combined with untruth. Why? Let me give you a much more traumatic example, which makes the same point clearly. Let's take what Nazis claimed about the Jews. I think we have to go to the end here and claim, even if, okay, not all, I wouldn't go so far, but even if some of what they claimed was true, nonetheless anti-Semitism was totally a lie, a fake. Why? I think that that's my general point, that the moment you even think about endorsing, accepting discussion at this level, like for example, let's say, I don't know, I'm a Nazi, you are an honest liberal, and I say Jews seduce our young girls, Jews exploit us, and I say this. You say, no, this is a lie. Then comes a naive university neutral idiot and says, oh, it's difficult, let's take an objective look at it. You sell your soul to the devil if you do this. Because let's be clear, the result will be unambiguous. Yes, the Nazis exaggerated it, but not quite. Because, wait a minute, now let's say something horrible. Many Jews were also rich in Germany, so yes, they definitely exploited Germans. On the other hand, I hope so, it's normal. I think that some Jews definitely probably were seducing German girls. Why not? You know what I mean? Why is this false? Because the true, how do you put it, the Nazis here, even if it were to be true, but it wasn't of course, they lied in the guise of truth. Because the true question is not, is it true what they are claiming about the Jews? The true question is why, in order to sustain their politics, they need this fantasy of the Jew. Why they need this phantasmatic figure of the Jew. And incidentally, it's the same, I think, even today with Iraq. Here I think that many fake leftists fell into the trap of accepting the terms of the debate. And when Americans said we have to attack Iraq because it's a terrible regime and so on. No, the point is not to argue, no, Saddam is good. Of course he's bad. But I claim the paradox is that even if all the statements about Saddam were true, and incidentally, now is something horrible, even I was slightly surprised. I thought they would find some weapons of mass destruction. Or at least, I mean, couldn't CIA or American Army apply the old creative lesson of drug-busting American police? They don't have drugs, you plant them, then, my God, we live in 21st century. No, but my point is that you get my point. This is not the true question. The true question is not, is it true what they claim about Saddam? The true question is a totally different one, is what kind of new logic of hegemony, new world order is established in this way and so on and so on. I think that to accept, even to accept these terms and then to argue, you put yourself into a totally idiotic position, you know. When there you have to argue, oh, but it's not so bad, some people nonetheless supported Saddam. That's not our debate, my God. That's not the level. That's not, again, that's not the level of truth.
The most bizarre development of the last 4 or 5 years, whatever you want to call the post-Gamergate era, to me, is like the shift in the rational, skeptic, atheist, shitlord, liberal, centrist, classical liberal community from being very militantly opposed to the rights of Christians to spread misinformation, to present opinion as fact. This shift seems to be very, and this is related to the Bering thing. This is related to this video by Bering. Now, I'm not going to put his content on my channel. And for a couple of reasons. Number one, I don't think his arguments are particularly substantial. His reasons for this, for framing, for background, because Bering's stance on gay marriage is symptomatic of this devil's advocacy gone completely insane. Where I support right-wing policy, but not for right-wing reasons. So Bering made a big show out of the fact that he voted no on gay marriage in Australia, even though he's for gay marriage, because the way the law is worded, and this is, and the wording that he's concerned about is like the same sort of Jordan Peterson in Canada pronouns panic, where the wording that he's concerned about is part of some kind of non-binding resolution, along with the legalization, just like a sort of almost like a poll of how the people in Australia feel about the issue of gay rights. And then he mixed it with some other weird shit about, kids are being introduced to radical gender concepts, this whole thing of like the overt sexualization of LGBTQ plus A identity. This idea that introducing the idea of gay identity or trans identity to children is inherently sexual or pathological or like a first cousin to pedophilia. Homosexuality is expressed, is something that can be, that's physically expressed. But gay identity is more complex. It has questions about gender. It has questions about the fluidity of preference. It has questions about what we, how strictly we define these boundaries of male and female. But like his whole argument is devil's advocate's argument for is the devil's advocate argument for right-wing Christians, which is to say, why can't we let them be part of the conversation? This is the number one skeptic talking point, is, well, I don't support their position, but we should let them frame the debate. Here's the problem with that, and I put a Slavoj Žižek video before this, even though, if anyone's more difficult to understand when explaining politics than me, it's Žižek. And if anybody has worse audio than me, it's Žižek. He is sort of where he's said a few times, number one, like, he doesn't want to live in a society where he has to argue whether rape is wrong. Now, that's not contained in the clip that I cited, but the two clips are related in that once, whether it's fascism or rape or gay conversion therapy or interracial marriage, debates about miscegenation and race mixing, or debates about other people's gender identities. Once you allow the debate to be framed, the parameters of the debate to be set between a completely unacceptable extreme and someone else's right to exist, because that's what we're talking about here. When we're talking about empowering Christian homophobes to teach their children that there is something pathological or immoral about gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, non-binary, when you allow this unpersoning to be right camera right. When you allow this to be the right end of the conversation, and the left end of the conversation is just, I just want to exist. I just want to go to the store, and I want to be able to have sex without having to deal with sodomy laws, and I just want to love my boyfriend, girlfriend. I just want to wear the clothes that I want to wear. I just want to express the gender that I'm feeling today. There is no argument. There is no debate there, because it's like the rape thing. You got one person on one side, and I mean, Bering has a history of playing with rape. Playing with the argument framing of rape and putting like this extremely, what really is rape? What's rape? And then making that one end of the debate, and then so the other person has to like literally prove that rape even exists. And I think that sort of connects in here into this sort of, let me take the, what about the rapist? What about the homophobe? What about the racist? What about their rights? Fuck their rights. You can find these arguments all throughout history for even the most atrocious things. What about the rights of slave owners? Fuck them. What about the rights of people who don't want to live in a society where races can mix? Fuck them. What about people who don't want immigrants to come to the... Fuck them. Fuck them. The second you acknowledge that their position is valid, you fuck the whole argument. Because, saying that someone else shouldn't exist isn't a fucking opinion. Okay? Imagine a microcosm. Imagine a small society of hunter-gatherers. And you guys are creating the first society ever. And the first thing you do is have a discussion about things that can and cannot be said. And you have a tribal council. And you have more than one ethnicity. And you have more than one gender. And you have more than one sexual preference. And race 1 says that race 2 should be executed. Well, in order for this society to coexist, you have to have... See, that's what fucks me up with this whole free speech absolutism devil's advocacy thing. Do we live in a society or not? Because if we're really going to live in a society together, then no, you can't have discussions about peaceful ethnic cleansing. You can't have discussions about what is rape. Is rape wrong? Is abortion wrong? You cannot, because these are not theoretical, academic things that you can have an opinion on. You can have an opinion that Jackie Chan movies are better than Keanu Reeves movies. You can have an opinion that swallowing cum tastes better than drinking Kool-Aid. You can have all kinds of opinions about things that don't compromise other people's ability to do basic shit. But once you allow the fascist, the racist, the sexist, the misogynist, the Christian extremist, the Muslim extremist, the Zionist, once you allow hatred to create the parameters of your argument, your issue is dead in the water.